Today is a great day for us. We are very privileged to be here in Tanzania to host the Rice Breeding Innovations Partners Workshop. Rice breeder, but also in the country.
Good morning, my name is Daniel Menge. I come from...
Good morning everyone, my name is Basita. I'm a plant breeder from Tanzania working with TARI.
Good morning, my name is Ibrahim Hashim. I'm a plant pathologist.
Morning, my name is Oliver Nyongesa from Kenya, working for IRRI Rice Breeding.
Good morning, my name is Herisu. I'm from Madagascar. I am working in rice breeding.
Natural Research Organization of Uganda.
Good morning, my name is Fabiola Langa. I'm from TARI.
Good morning, my name is Kennedy Mangwana. I'm a plant breeder by profession, system and product management based in IRRI, Nairobi office.
I'm a plant breeder working for IRRI and based in Mozambique.
I'm the Deputy Head of the Rice Breeding Innovations Department based in Manila, Philippines. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Good morning.
Good morning everyone. My name is Tato Ipotse. I'm working for National Agriculture Research Institute in Botswana and I'm a research scientist. Thank you.
My name is Julien Duimana, IRRI Burundi.
Good morning everyone. I'm Evelyn Ganga, working for IRRI Kenya as a plant pathologist. Good to be here.
Good morning everyone. My name is Ali Mahunda from Tanzania, working on city system and product management.
Good morning. Myself Wasim Hussain. I'm leading the late mature rice breeding program and based at AfricaRice. Thank you.
Support and trainer, Africa, based in Nairobi.
Morning everyone, I'm Apigonza Biraro.
Good morning everyone. My name is Elias Cheke. I'm from Malawi. I'm a rice breeder. Thank you.
Thank you. I leave the media team here.
I'm an executive, Gerald Mweli, IRRI Regional Director for Africa, Dr. RBI, TARI Director General, Dr. Geoffrey, Mkamilo, Dr. Panchba, Regional Breeder, lead for Africa, and lead for seed system and product management based in Nairobi. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Geoffrey Mkamilo, our TARI Director, for his assignment. Please, you are welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Gerald Mweli, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Hans, the Director, Dr. Gary, as a Senior Program Officer at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Dr. Ismail, the Regional Director for Africa, International Rice Research Institute, Dr. Jay, this is the Regional Leader for Africa, based in Nairobi, Mr. Iranga, our IRRI Tanzania liaison officer, my colleagues, renowned scientists, those from International Rice Research Institute, headquarters in Manila, Philippines, and also the regional office in Nairobi, Kenya. And again, our rice breeders. I have seen a number of breeders and seed specialists in the region, Eastern and Southern Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, allow me to thank the team from IRRI, from the regional headquarters, again from Philippines, especially for giving me this opportunity to participate in this 3-day meeting, which is actually focusing on the rice breeding innovation partners annual meeting for Eastern and Central Africa, based here in Dar es Salaam. So we look at this meeting basically is about the review. The review what you have already done in the last season or the last year, the lessons that you have learned from what you have done, if there are some challenges, and also how we mitigated the challenges and so on. So this meeting is really technical and is fundamental today. Perhaps you are aware that Tanzania ranks second after Madagascar in rice production, and this is indeed a very important staple and also source of income for our smallholder farmers. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the statistics we have about 44 million hectares of arable land in Tanzania. Now, over 50% of these 44 million hectares actually suitable for lowland, rain-fed and irrigated rice production. But again, what basically we are utilizing is about 1.6 million hectares of land under rice production. What it means here that we have adequate land in this country, suitable land for rice, whether it's for rain-fed and also irrigated. We have adequate land here. The only challenge or the only problem we have in this country is low productivity, with a national average of about 2.5 tons per hectare. We can actually increase this productivity, maybe double or triple as from other countries. So this is really the challenge, but there is also huge potential to increase the production of rice in this country, also by expanding areas under production, because I have said we have adequate land, and we believe that the land we have, which is also suitable for rice, we can produce more rice and also feed the region. It is possible. And as you know, we have some very good varieties, aromatic ones, and the very one likes the aroma in rice. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank especially International Rice Research Institute for effective collaboration. We have been working with IRRI for many years. I think over 4 decades, basically working in collaboration with the IRRI. And we want to register support from IRRI, especially strengthening the national program, building the capacity in terms of infrastructure, but also human capacity. Human capacity, maybe tailor-made courses, and also long-term courses. We have benefited from support of IRRI. But we also have benefited from research, backstopping research. You are all here from different countries. Thank you so much for the support. This one will always be remembered and appreciated. But again, when I look at the genetic resources we get from Philippines and in the region as well, because you cannot advance any research if you don't have genetic resources. We have actually acquired a lot of genetic resources from IRRI, and we want to thank you for this, and I hope we will continue providing these genetic resources so that instead of producing 2.5 tons per hectare, perhaps you can double, we can triple, and this is through GEM Plus deployment. This is very key, and we have to continue working together along this area. But again, if I look at financial support, also we get from some development partners. I want to register Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Not only in rice, but also some other crops. We receive support from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and I think Bill and Melinda Foundation will continue to provide the support so that we can change the system here and produce more rice basically for the region. I really want to appreciate you for this. Finally, this is a business meeting. It's an annual project review meeting. Now, when you review, as I have said, we have to identify basically what we have done last season, what we have done right, and what we have done wrong. So from there, then we have the lessons learned from what we have done, but again, the major recommendations how we can improve. But with the ultimate aim to increase food and nutrition security through these rights. So I hope the 3 days meeting will be very useful for all of us to be able to understand this. Now, having said this, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, DG TARI, Dr. Geoffrey Mkamilo. I'm very honored.
Gerald Mweli, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture, the United Republic of Tanzania. Dr. Geoffrey Mkamilo, Director General, Tanzania Agriculture Research Institute. Our colleagues from the CGIAR system, either results or online, from CIAT, from AfricaRice. Our colleagues from the headquarters who are joining online, mostly our leaders. Colleagues from different countries in the region. It's really fantastic to see you all back here, to see 11 countries represented. We hope that all the 15 or 16 countries we are working with should be here in the future. Our colleagues from IRRI, from the headquarters, from India, and from IRRI Africa. We really appreciate your presence here, and it's really, as I said, it's always a pleasure to see you, to interact with you, and to learn from your progress and your wisdoms. Good morning to all of you, and warm welcome to this Rice Breeding and Innovation Partners Annual Meeting for East and South Africa. This is really a great tradition that we started and we're continuing with it, and I hope that we'll be able to continue in the future, moving from one country to another. As you know, and since it is establishment, since its inception in the 1960s, IRRI has been committed to improve rice production in Africa, increasing the capacity of our partners and help the continent to reach self-sufficiency started, as I said, since the early 60s. And the reason for that is Africa is a lot of need, but also is a lot of potential to contribute to the world food security. Africa now hosts about 60% of unusable arable lands in the world. You can't find this anywhere else. But still we cannot feed ourselves. This is really a mistake. This is mainly because our yields are low compared to the global average. Our farm management practices are still poor and sometimes traditional, especially in grain-fed areas. And also our agricultural markets are distorted. And that is why the farmers are not getting what they are supposed to get, and they are not incentivized really to work hard. If you look at our value chain, total benefit, only about 30% of that goes to farmers, the rest of it goes to middlemen. Whereas if you look at most countries in Asia, it's over 60% of the value chain goes to farmers. So we have to work at that at the policy level actually to make sure that the farmers get what they deserve. So this is leading to the continent being very fragile and also sensitive to price shocks. And we have seen this actually quite frequently in response to availability in the rice in the international trade market, and also with respect to affordable price that Africa can pay to get sufficient rice. Sub-Saharan Africa today is importing over $44 billion worth of food. Also, we have the largest arable land in the world. And this is increasing annually. About $7 billion now goes into rice. So we should cut this bill very soon. And this bill is increasing because if you cut it 4 years ago, it is about $5 billion. Now just in about 4 years, it is $7 billion. It's going up. Despite all the efforts that we are doing, despite the efforts of the government and national programs, IRRI and other development agencies, the gap is still widening. So we have to really think hard, and especially this is a unique group that really can help lead in this direction. How can we really streamline our strategies to be able to narrow this gap in local production? The low productivity in Africa is attributed to several issues. I just mentioned a few of them. One of them is, it seems like we are not really short of varieties. Our team here and all of you are really doing wonders. They are doing a great job in having sufficient varieties, but these varieties did not make it to the market yet. Traditional varieties are still dominating most of our production areas and also in several countries. And the progress being made by our team, as I said, is sufficient to really lead this process and make sure that these varieties reach farmers and make a difference. This has to be reflected at the farm field level. The second issue is really the low use of agricultural inputs and also agricultural management in general. Just to give you one example, since 2000 until now, the average use of fertilizer in sub-Saharan Africa is about 20 kilograms per hectare. It's actually dwindling between 15 to 20 kilograms per hectare. There is some high-level meeting that happened here the last one was in Abuja in 2006, and the agreement in that meeting comes a declaration that we should increase our fertilizer input to about 50 kilograms per hectare. But since 2006, this is still staying the same, so there is something wrong in our strategy. How can we really make that functional? If you compare this to the international rice, the international use of fertilizer, which is about 130 kilograms per hectare. And this is one of the major challenges for us moving forward. We are developing good varieties, but Pauline is there. We need to increase our input. We have to manage our farms better so we get the best potential out of these varieties. We have to look at the system level rather than looking at one component of the system. And I'm very happy to see that now the team are coming together. We are now involving all players, social scientists, economists, seed multiplication and seed system group. I'm very happy to see that we have a very strong seed system group now led by our colleagues Ajay and Daniel mainly, and Ken. And this will really mushroom in the future. We have already seen the impact of that in a few countries, especially in Kenya. We are looking forward to see that here in Tanzania as our major focus country and also the largest rice producer. So the fragility of the system, food system in Africa is actually becoming a worrying issue. And because we are really responding to very minor shocks in the international rice price and international rice availability. And we have witnessed that in few occasions. For example, in 2007, 2008, and 2010, 2011, the food price crisis. Africa is seriously affected more than anywhere else in the world. When there is no rice in the market, even if you have money, you cannot get it at that time. And that's the time when you see most of the African leaders came together and start rethinking our strategy. We cannot really depend on the international market. We have to have some level of regional or at least continental self-sufficiency to have some sovereignty and control of our food system. The second one happens through COVID-19 and our all country. At the beginning, the studies came showing that Actually, rice is the least affected by COVID-19, but later on we found that the prices of rice, availability of rice in many countries actually is seriously affected by these restrictions. And the reason for that also because rice now become an alternative food. I remember the principal secretary in Kenya, a few days ago we had a meeting with him and he mentioned that rice became a self-saver for us because in last year with the drought and also the local disasters, there is no maize in the market. So they tried to get maize from anywhere they can't get it, they went back to rice and they found sufficient rice to satisfy the need of the country. So it becomes a safety valve and imported food crops in general. We need to turn that condition and make sure that we will be able to have our own food and in producing fertilizers locally. And I think that's important. We are the largest producer of phosphate in the world. And we can do that also for other fertilizers. More of non-basmati rice. And our fear right now, this also might mushroom. Other countries might take the same trend because when happened in 2007, 2008, Vietnam started the restrictions and then other countries followed suit. So we are hoping that this will not be the trend. Actually, last week we have a workshop, a seminar on that, mainly to try to address this problem. What would be the consequences and how can we advise our countries to really be prepared for this wave of shocks which is likely to happen. India is a major rice exporter. They are exporting 22 million tons of rice every year right now. Example is last year. This is huge. Given the small size of rice in the international trade, they are also supporting major countries in Africa, especially in West Africa, including Senegal, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, and Guinea. These are not in our region, but the problem is once there is scarcity from India, they will compete with other countries for the available rice in the market. So this sense really you have to be prepared for it. So countries in the region, sub-Saharan Africa, especially here in Kenya, we need to improve our local production and also we need to improve our quality. We need to reduce production costs. It's still quite expensive compared to rice coming from outside. The quality is also low and our local rice is not competitive in the international market, and most of the cases end up being rejected if you try to export it outside of the continent. We know what the reasons are, and we know there are solutions for it, and we started working together on that. Hopefully we'll be able to improve our productivity, improve our quality, reduce the cost of production, and bring more profit to farmers so they will be incentivized actually to work harder and produce more. In few cases we talk to farmers about this, and most of the time they said, well, we are not getting enough, we are just breaking even. And that is not really the case should be. We know in Asia, farmers are commercial producers of rice. So we need to reverse that trend and make sure that our farmers in Africa look at it as a commercial enterprise rather than just producing for their own food. We also need to work to harmonize agricultural policies and guidelines to remove restrictions imposed in neighboring countries and also allow free movement of not only rice but also inputs. And actually this is one of the declarations that came in Mobutu meeting some years ago where all countries agreed that they will not impose any tariff or non-tariff restrictions on fertilizers. But still that is the case. Countries also agreed that they will invest 10% of the GDP in agriculture. Only probably few countries, including Ethiopia and probably Rwanda, are doing that at the moment. So we need really to come to these kind of commitments. As you know, as I said, work in Africa dating back to the early 60s because of the importance of Africa. Even at that time, rice is not as important as it is now. Starting with IRRI, and that collaboration continues. And also, as I mentioned, to honor our main landing ground in Africa was actually here in Tanzania, maybe because of the potential and because of the support we have been seeing since then. We are really looking forward to strengthen this and make it really functional and be able to help the country to be a major exporter or supplier of rice in the whole of the region. We are now working in 5 countries where we have offices. Our staff is a little over 75 staff in the whole region. We are hoping that that number will grow, and it will grow in the future, and it will grow very fast, so we'll be able to really meet the challenges. The interesting thing is that all donors now are focusing on Africa. Gates Foundation announced that they want to at least have 60% of their investment in Africa. We should have the partnership, we should have the capacity and strength to be able to really take that challenge and really bring at least the productivity in Africa to the level of Asia, if not even better. Our breeding and seed system programs are gaining considerable strength in delivering well in the region. We have seen this in Kenya, for example. We have one variety, Kumboka, which was released some time ago, but we started working on it only 3 years ago, and now it is the leading variety. Now it's covering more than 50% of the area in Kenya. We need to see more Kumbokas, more similar varieties in every country, and these varieties should really be lead varieties. There are a few things that I want to share with you, which I think will help us really strengthen our role, strengthen the way we are working, strengthen our partnership. The most important of it is, I will say it is our breeding team and network in the region to cover all countries. And I talked to Sankar about that. I'm very glad to see that we have a very strong support from our management in the region. We need to have breeders in each country. I can't understand why we don't have a breeder station in Tanzania. We have roads who is split between Tanzania and Kenya, but we need that strength. We need the local strength to work directly with our national program to really be able to deliver and reach the levels that we are dreaming of. We really appreciate the strong support of TARI also in this area. Kenya has one of the best breeding program and breeders, well-trained breeders in the region, and we are counting a lot on that. So hopefully with this effort will be and with more presence in all countries in the future, we'll be able to reach our targets as quickly as we can. The second thing is we need more focused efforts to speed variety release and deployment. We have now released over 42 varieties in the last 12 years, but only few of them really moved to the level that we want. And as I mentioned, Kumboka is one of them. We need some policy adjustment. We have a brief discussion with His Honor this morning. And also we need to make good progress in some countries that are not yet moving fast. There are some countries that I don't want to mention them, but we have been working over 15 years, but we haven't released any varieties yet. We have to look back and see what is difficult there, what is our strategy, are we really putting enough weight in the national program to be able to release more varieties. We need more focused efforts on these varieties and strategies for seed production and putting together a partnership to move them fast in the region. We have few varieties that are leading and many are not moving forward, so it is really telling our leaders and seed system people to look back and see what is the issue. Why these varieties, some varieties are really making it, others are not. Is it really a problem with the trades that we engage in these varieties? Is it a problem with the seed system? Are they really the right varieties for the right places? The other thing is we have to look at the rice system as an integrated food production system. We have to strengthen our demonstrations, our monitoring, also on how we are progressing. I'm glad to see the seed costs coming in as one of those tools. And also, we have to have a one rice team. And IRRI is probably the earliest CGIAR who started working on this, where we have all the breeders, agronomists, social scientists, market specialists, seed system specialists, all of them coming together and working together in the field. I think that is the best model that can assure that we really develop the product we need and also push them to the market. We are weak in agronomy and soil science and water sciences in the region. We are strengthening that right now, and we will rely a lot on our national partners. We do the training that is needed to make sure that we have the capacity in this area. Most importantly, now we are building our capacity in the spatial intelligence, building a regional GIS lab in Kenya. And the reason for that is really we do not have sufficient data on where rice is growing, where it should be growing, where we have challenges of biotic and abiotic stresses, what diseases are there, what strains of disease are there, and how can we curb them, what is the potential effect of disasters that happen in any particular area, and how can we advise the governments to react to that. So hopefully with this new facility, we'll be able to answer to these questions. We need really to look at our value chains. As I said, the farmers are not getting what they deserve. Our value chains are broken, and there's so many intermediaries. So we need also support from you, Your Honor, to be able to make breakthroughs in that area, streamline our value chains, and make sure that the farmers have the intelligence where to get their input and where to sell their products at the best price they can. I think we are doing well. I can see that represented quite well in terms of gender and youth representation, but this is a powerful group that we should not neglect, should work on them and provide opportunities for them really. We can't go without them. And also, we discussed this morning is how can we look at our policies and catalyze them so that we are all empowered to go at the fastest possible rate. We really need this annual meeting, and I really greet our leaders here to extend this annual meeting to the future to tackle all issues related to the rice sector development as a system, not as just a breeding program, both at the national and hopefully in the future we look at it at regional and also at continental level. So I'd like at the end to thank you, our partners, for your very strong support in all rice growing countries in the region, and for your commitment. I know that you are all busy, but you still are able to make time for this kind of interaction, and also you are able to give your guidance and your feedback on how we are doing and how we move forward. But frankly, I really need you to be as frank as you can and let us know, because this is a journey we started together and we are all responsible for its success or failure. I really thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, DG, and all the government officials, actually, especially in Tanzania, for your very strong support and backing up. This is really unlimited. This is empowering us really to do what we can, giving us the freedom to work as hard as we can in the country. Thanks to our global team from, as you can see, they are very represented from other CGIAR, from our headquarters, from India, and Asia in general, and also from IRRI Africa, all over the region here. So this is really, your commitment is amazing, and your progress, the progress that you made is also really excellent. We are now still midway. There is a lot need to be done, and I think that what we accomplished through science is so exciting, but we have to see that working at the farmer fields really. I believe together we can accomplish a lot more and make a difference that neither of us can do alone. And this is very clear now. We are complementing each other very strongly. Let us keep this excellent partnership going and growing, and I wish you all the best in the deliberation of these few days, and we really look forward to your guidance and your recommendation that can take us to the second step. And we look forward to making really a great success in the region. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Abed, for those insightful remarks.
Wasting time, I would like to welcome our Permanent Secretary, Honorable Harry, who can take the podium. Thank you so much.
Institute, and I'm told you are the chairperson of this meeting. Dr. Gray Adlin, Senior Program Officer, BMGF, Dr. Abdel Ismail, Regional Director for Africa International Rice Research Institute, Dr. Geoffrey Mkamilo, Director General for Tanzania Research Institute, renowned scientists from IRRI HQ in Manila, and those who are from our regional office in Nairobi, welcome to Tanzania. Rice breeders from East and Southern African countries, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, partners, and friends, good morning. Good morning. How are you? How is your morning in Tanzania? Good, eh? It's really an honor and privilege to be with you this morning. And first and foremost, I'd like to take this golden opportunity to thank the leadership of the IRRI, International Research Institute, for RICE for inviting me to give this inaugural speech. It's really an honor and I really appreciate for this opportunity. For Tanzania, rice is one of our strategic crops. It is indeed a great honor to host this important meeting, and by looking at the list of delegates, it has a top leadership from the International Research Institute. This is really important. The BMGF and the prominent rice scientists from East and Southern African countries. I would like to register my sincere gratitude for the organizers of this vital event for inviting me to share insights into Tanzania's effort towards implementation of sustainable development goals, focusing on poverty reduction and food security. This matter is on top of the list because majority of the population depend on agriculture for their livelihood, and rice is one of the strategic crops I have mentioned earlier in the agricultural sector, but for the region, to which the government is keen to develop given its contribution to food and nutrition security and employment in many rural areas. Chair, Tanzania ranks second after Madagascar in rice production in Eastern and Southern Africa. This strategic crop is the most important staple food and source of income to smallholder farmers in Tanzania through the National Rice Development Strategy, which we have enacted in 2018 and we will implement it up to 2030. Several strategic objectives have been set for implementation, which include improvement of climate resilience by developing market-oriented varieties, promoting other production technology and policy tools that could mitigate climatic varieties, enhancing regional market competitiveness of locally produced rice over imported rice by reducing cost of production, and improving the quality and the regulatory mechanism and sustainably orient other countries' rice farming system, especially small-scale holdings, towards national and regional rice market through improved production and marketing mechanism. Tanzania has 21 hectares of arable and suitable land for rice, of which we are only using 1.6 million hectares for rice production. With a national average yield of 2.5 tons per hectare, there is a huge potential to increase the rice production in the country by expanding the area under cultivation as well as enhancing productivity by unit area. The government of the United Republic of Tanzania, through the ministry, has set the target of doubling the rice production by year 2030. To achieve this, a number of initiatives have been put in place that include increasing the budget for irrigation for developing and expanding irrigation schemes. And I'm glad to tell you that we have improved or increased the budget from 30 billion a year to 361. This is more than 10 times. Just for irrigation. But speaking of the budget for the agriculture, from 2021 we have increased from 298 billion TZS, which is almost around $104 million to $404 million in 2 years, which is almost 4 times increase of the budget. But also we have enacted last year the subsidy program for fertilizer so that we can create affordability in the area. But also we have easing cross-border trade in rice and supporting farmer advisory services. Here I'm speaking of the extension services by providing motorbikes and soil testing kits for all the extension officers in the country. We do believe that knowledge is key in increasing productivity. And one of the top priorities for us is research, as I've said earlier, we have increased the budget, but also we have linked research and extension services. But also we have easing accessibility of these extension services by providing motorbikes, but also soil tests is one of our key priorities. As we are embarking on providing subsidies for the fertilizer, it is really important to have a knowledge and a proper one on the quality of our soil. The government has also included the budget in seed multiplication, and in addition, the Ministry of Agriculture is implementing our famous strategy which we have named Agenda 1030. And by Agenda 1030 means by year 2030, the annual increase of agriculture should reach 10% from the 4% to which we are now. Thus, collaboration with the national, regional, and international institutions such as IRRI is the matter on top of our list in order to meet these ambitious targets. Chair, despite all the potential resources of our country, the majority of our rice producers are smallholder farmers who produce rice for home consumption and sell the surplus direct to traders. A number of challenges have been identified that act as a limitation to the rice sector development in the country. These include limited availability and accessibility of improved seed varieties, low use of fertilizer and pesticides, inadequate promotion of labor-saving technologies, insufficient development of irrigation infrastructure and water conservation technologies, weak marketing structures, and inadequate access to financial services. Chair, it is indeed collaboration between the International Research Institute and the Government of United Republic of Tanzania is very important. And it has started way back. I am told that IRRI was established in 1965, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah? 1960s. And when the IRRI Board of Trustees visited Tanzania for the first time in 1983, an MOU between URT and IRRI was signed in the same year to collaborate in strengthening rice research, capacity development of national staff, and the exchange of young plans and information. Currently, IRRI has a diverse range of activity in the country, conducted mainly through sound collaborative arrangements with government and private agencies which exist under a wide range of partners in the private and public sector. This cooperation has been beneficial to our country. To date, 50% of the rice varieties released in the country were developed from IRRI breeding program in collaboration of TARI. Let's put our hands together. For example, 4 varieties, namely Komboka TARI 2012, TARI RIC 1, and TARI RIC 2 2020, have been released in Tanzania through the partnership between TARI and IRRI, and many other varieties are in the pipeline. Other benefits from our collaboration include capacity building of the national researchers, extension services staff, seed production specialists, and farmers through both in-country and international training program. I am happy to learn that the currently developed and adopted strategy of IRRI is in line with our plan. And I am informed that this meeting will discuss issues related to rice sector improvement in Tanzania and the region by reflecting on what we have done over the past years in the region with the support of IRRI. At the ministry level, we have keen interest in getting insights into lessons learned and the recommendations coming out of this important meeting. And I want to submit my commitment to you that all the recommendations which you will raise and provide to us, we will implement it diligently. On a different note, please allow me to invite you to participate in the coming AGRI. This meeting is indeed You are here at the right time. Tanzania is named to host, and we are in the preparation of the AGRI summit. AGRI is a premier platform for agriculture, where all agriculture experts from across the country, from across Africa, meet and discuss our solutions to food security. And from last year, we have named AGRF, we have renamed it to Africa Food System Summit, in spite of the AGRF. So I would like to say that this is the first year and the first time for this kind of forum to be held in Africa. But for Tanzania, it's the second time to host this kind of meeting. So before you leave, make sure you register in our online platform and make sure you attend the meeting, which will be held from 5th to 8th. And we are expecting more than 5 head of states, international VVIPs, and up to yesterday, the number of people who have registered is more than 3,000. So I think this is an opportunity not to miss. Chair, please allow me to encourage all stakeholders in this meeting to make use of this event to network and learn from each other. Learning from the good collaboration between URT and IRRI, but also our government has set conducive environment to work with the national and international organization for the benefits of rice stakeholders in Eastern and Southern Africa. With these few remarks, I now declare this meeting is officially opened. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great stay here in Tanzania.
Thank you very much, Honorable PS, and again, we don't take it for granted that you're able to really create your time out of the busy schedule